Hey everyone, how is it going? Hope you are all well. Nice quick video today for you, focusing on my top tips for season 6. These are the 3 things that have jumped out to me that's a little bit different than previous seasons, maybe a little bit more emphasis on these things in previous seasons, and I wanted to share them for you, and I also want you guys to share what your biggest one tip would be that's not in my top 3 today. So number 1, not in any order these aren't, probably equal importance, but number 1 is resources. Resources, I feel this season are a massive advantage if you can get a high amount of resource gain. Why is that? The main reason is relating to your barracks. In previous seasons, I'm playing roleplay, so I might be just talking on the roleplay side of things here. Non-roleplay people, please correct me and tell me if this is the normal thing what you experience. I'm just not used to it. You get a total, I believe, of 8 queues for hire. And it's not just, this is the difference, it's not just your neutrals, for example, mummer kills and drakes and werewolves and eagles, burnings, whatever it is. It's not just that inside hire. Because we're non-RP, we can build the outbuildings, the little sort of like camps, the embassies, whatever you want to call it. You can build your camps and then you actually hire the troops rather than conscript them. What does this mean? It means that I can conscript cataphracts, I can conscript swan knights, guards the towers, and knights, when I've got my final one unlocked. And just to show you here, my final upgrade will get me the 4th queue. I can do guards of the towers, cataphracts, knight and swan knights, for example, on the conscript. Or maybe I want to do some of the evil men instead. And at the same time, I can conscript sentinels, guardians, alchemists, and I don't know, whatever else I want. Ram riders, cavaliers, like whatever I wanted. It's insane. It's insane. And going back to my point, resources, we can't afford to recruit non-stop unless you have a lot of resources. How do you know you got a lot? You want to be sitting in these top 300s really. Really, you should be sitting in the top 200. And it will give you a massive advantage on the battlefield, making sure you're doing a considerable amount of damage. You can throw yourself at people and you can get your commanders back up to full army quicker than previous seasons in old roleplay worlds. So I think it's a really key thing. I'm not sure if anyone else has noticed this one, but these amount of units you can get and speed wise is much faster than previous role-playing seasons. But you need those resources to do it. So go collect those 200s, go collect the 230s, spend your time, get out of the way to pick up all the resources you can. Second point I wanted to talk about is clairvoyance. Okay, this is the new ability for scouting. Okay, this allows us to scouting, and I believe it's, where are we? Oh no, I should have looked at this before, I think. Clairvoyance. Obtain information about the first 2 defensive armies on the tile. This allows you to see what you're going to hit. This helps with taking 200s, 230s, 260s, 300s at the start of the game. But more importantly, it helps when fighting PvP. So I'm not sure if I can do it up here. Again, I should have probably tried this before. But if I want to do this, and I want to see who's on the tile, we can have a look at this. And we get information of who's sitting there. We see it's a Aragorn, King of Men. How do we counter that? What do we want to do to counter it? What stats is he running? He's looking at so he's focused, damage, focused, and night, so burn, focus, and poison kind of stuff. Tell you what, a Gimli would absolutely smash his face in. Okay, you get the point. You can find out the counter of what you want to fight. Example being, if there's a Witch King there, well, send in that Gandalf and make sure he's skilled with the anti-Witch King build, with the avoidance, with the high alert full, and yes, give him a good smack. But my point is, my second tip on this is use that ability as much as possible before fighting. I keep at the start of the game, I have a good balance of commanders with different damage outputs. I'll be using Gandalf, I'll be using Gimli, also Theoden, and probably Galadriel this season. That's 4 different approaches to fights. And if I use clairvoyance first, I can check who I'm fighting and make sure I counter them before I go in. So that's my second tip. Make sure you use that as much as possible, especially how many ability points you get. I got 38 or something. Don't know where they're coming from, but I've got 38 anyway. So you get plenty. Can't use them all barely. Use it to scout armies before PvP. The last piece of advice, it's probably one that sort of is in line with the clairvoyance one, is attack and don't defend. Why is that? Same reason as I just said on the scouting. If you're attacking, you can get the advantage of countering their army. Well, guess what? If you're not attacking and you're defending and you're sitting there waiting for someone to hit you, well, guess what? The army can see where they're hitting. They can test what armies are there. They can then counter you. This is literally a tip all the time anyway. If you're attacking, you can control your losses a lot better than defending. People can time their attacks to land 2 commanders at the same time, or maybe 1 second apart. So for example, my Gandalf is sitting there, chilling, waiting. They come in with a big fat Gimli with his R10 weapon with counter avoidance. Comes in, gives me a right good hiding, then finishes me off before I can recall with their second army with 1 second difference, and gives me also a smack as well. Finishes me off and probably does a good fight against the second army because they will probably be full. You get my point. Attack rather than defending. Use the ability points as your advantage. If you're sitting on a tile like this, make sure you are guard trading as much as possible, because you're going to lose a lot. And if you haven't got the resources, this is going to be a struggled season for you. So if you think there's anything mega important this season, probably the only thing that's missing for me that I wanted to say is was not sort of nearly coming to the top 3 is trying to use a balance of evil and good commanders. If your fellowship has got a few evil players in there, or a few good, if you're majority evil, they will have a huge part to play in your war. We've had some mega fights, and because we're majority good, the Witch Kings come in and people are not ready for the Alk Bombs, and they've been wiping out big stacks of armies, and it's awesome to see. Really nice to see. But anyway, that was my last 4th one, a bonus one in there for you. If you think there's anything key that you've seen this season that's different than the others and you want to share it, drop it in the comment section below. And I'm sure people would love to hear your advice. I shall catch you all next time. Thanks for watching. Love you all.